This week on Not Another Shooting Show. My grip sucks balls.
5 mics and 2 DQs. Like, let's be honest here.
I buy my breath.
Oh, the fucking tactards.
Here's the view Andy's wife sees.
He's gonna come on your chest. Like, what's going on with that?
He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. We go to Independence, Ohio, where police were called to a hotel on a report of a man who had shot himself with a handgun at 6:01 p.m. back on April 26th. Story just came out this week. The man was found with a wound to his leg. He told police he was showing the handgun to his brother-in-law, to whom he was selling the gun, when the incident occurred. Both men were legally permitted to own a handgun. The injured man was taken to a hospital, was later cited for illegal discharge of a weapon, which is sort of the, you know what? You've already been punished enough, but we're still going to slap the wrongful discharge or whatever on you because you're a dumbass and you deserve it.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
that guy.
Now, the next story, though, I'm just going to, it has nothing to do with shooting at all, but it's from the same local police blotter on this website, cleveland.com, and I like it, so I'm going to read it. Police responded to a driver slumped over the wheel of his car in the drive-thru of a Wendy's at 1:02 a.m. on April 27th. Officers had to, quote, physically shake the man to wake him up. He failed field sobriety tests, including being unable to complete the alphabet. The man refused a breath test and was cited for operating a motor vehicle while impaired, refusal, and driving on an expired license. Oh, God. That's so awesome. He couldn't finish the alphabet.
Right. When you were saying alphabet, I was like, oh, he's going to say alphabet backwards, and I can't do that fucking sober. And it's like, oh, no.
Okay, Jeff, start at R and do the alphabet backwards.
No.
I'll attempt it. R. I have no idea what comes before R.
Right. You've already failed. Okay, well, because field sobriety tests are fake.
O-P-Q. Okay, so P or R, Q, P, O. I'm literally going back and re-singing the alphabet song, and then I know the next letter.
Yep, because that's what you have to do. You have to sing it over and over and over and over again. And it's kind of one of the, like, it's one of the fake tests that cops can't really be faulted on. Like, because, yeah, you having to do that, does that mean you're drunk or not drunk? Well, it's up to the determination of the officer.
Yeah, never do the monkey test if you're pulled over for DUI. Just go,
blow me, bitch.
Blood test, or I'll blow. I'm not fucking around with this. I'm not giving you more evidence for the trial. Okay. No. Okay. So, I have another story because there were 2 good ones this week. Sorry. I did 2 stories and thought I was done, but I wasn't done. I have another one, and this one's awesome. We go to Lufkin, Texas, where Angelina County District Attorney Lane Thompson has a minor injury to his foot after he accidentally shot himself while hog hunting Tuesday.
Nice.
According to a statement from Sheriff Tom Selman, Thompson shot himself in the foot with a .22 long rifle caliber semi-auto pistol. Fucking video pop-up. God damn it. While he was hunting hogs on his property, the projectile passed through his skin and did not hit any bones. Lucky. No real serious damage. Thompson was treated and released from a hospital. He said the incident happened due to, quote, clumsy holstering. He told the sheriff that while he was securing his .22 pistol, either the retaining strap got hung up inside the trigger guard. That's a bad place to put the strap. Or he had his finger on the trigger during insertion. I'm going to go with the latter. I'm going to guess his finger was on the trigger when he inserted it into his holster, because then your finger becomes an automatic trigger pulling device without you having to do it. So anyway, well done, Mr. District Attorney. Well done. So I shot a match this week. Or this last week.
Now?
I did. We had our Thursday night USPSA match at my club.
Okay.
And after, hearing about Craig getting Raw Time champ and seeing some of those crazy times he shot at some of the stages at Great Plains, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go Ricky Bobby.
Yep.
At the next club match and just see like how it goes. It went exactly how I thought it would, and why I'm never going Ricky Bobby again. My first stage, I had 2 mics.
Okay.
Go raw time champ speed, get raw time champ results. One of the mics was not due to going too fast. It was because I ran out of ammo again at the very end of the stage.
Oh, Jesus.
I had 25 in the gun. I had 22. It was a 22 round stage with 2 poppers and a swinger. And I had a couple makeups on one of the poppers, and I sent 3 at the swinger, and I didn't reload. So that was one of the mics. The other mic,
poor plan.
Yeah, I should have just planned to reload, but I never planned to miss. So I was like, I've got 3 makeups, but I'd never like had it in my stage plan that if you shoot makeups, make sure you reload on the long part.
Yep,
I didn't do that. So, and then there was a target on the right. And this is a stage, it's always the stage I design where I shoot mics. It always is. There was one target off to the right that you could shoot from a lot of the area of the stage. And as soon as I finished the part to the left where the swinger and the poppers were, as I am moving back to the right, I engage that on the move as I'm coming into position to shoot one around a corner. And I disrespected that target like it called me a name. And it disrespected me back because I think I shot Charlie Mike on that target, if I do recall. And then, of course, I finished the stage with the mic at the very end, and I started to reload and realized that was going to be stupid. I had fired 1 round at it. If I ran out before I fired 1 round, I would have reloaded because then it's 2 mics and an FTSA, and that's real bad. So
yep.
Then I think the quick reload is worth it, but if it's just the 1 round, not worth it. So I lost the match right there on the first stage. Little 4-stage match, it was over. And I had not lost a club match this year. Every club match I had shot, with the exception of a guy who's a really pretty good 3-gunner, was shooting PCC. He got me at 1 match, but he's shooting a rifle. I wasn't.
PCC doesn't count.
And
that's you're not counting the night match.
And I'm not counting the night match. But that was not a club match though. That's sort of like it's kind of it's the size of a regular full club match in my part of the country, but our club matches are never as full as our night matches.
Yeah.
So, because we had like 50 people, I think, at that.
All the tactards.
And a lot of tactards. There was a lot of new people at this match, by the way. This club match this Thursday. A lot of new people.
Where are they coming from?
Well, Kian, who we had on the show, he started working part-time at Shields, and he talked a bunch of the dudes that work at Shields, who are essentially Timmy's, to come shoot the match. One of them is a very good friend of mine. And
oh yeah, you mentioned that last episode.
And like he hit stuff, but you know, the game is all new to him, so it went like none of them DQ'd or did anything dumb, but it was no, I was glad they all came out. I was like, "Did you have fun?" He was like, "Yeah." Okay. So it didn't change your life?
Nah, it's either it's a you love it or you don't kind of thing. There's an article we can talk about later that kind of breaks down the 3 problems with USPA. But how did Kian do against you in that raw time champ? Because he's fast as fuck.
Yeah. Well, he's fast as fuck, but he doesn't aim.
Those are minor details.
Minor details. So I have another story about Kian from today. Remind me of the other Kian story. I still beat him.
Yeah.
Because, wait a minute. Oh, this is not combined. Okay. I have to switch it to, whoops. Or it's by division. I need combined. Combined. There we go. Kian still lost to me because he only shot 62% of Chris. I shot 86% of Chris. By the way, I shot 80% of the points. A lot of deltas. And I also lost to a guy who hasn't shot a match in about 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kian, he did super duper shitty, not because of his own performance, really. His dot died.
Oh no.
He had a Vortex Defender XL, and it started blinking, and then it stopped working.
But I thought those were indestructible. Joel told me that they're awesome. They're the most awesome sauce that's ever awesomed.
Well, they are, as long as the battery contacts work. He got it to sort of work by inserting a folded up piece of paper or something into the battery cover, and then it was kind of working, but he shot like 2 stages with no dot whatsoever because he did not have a backup gun. So
And this is why we have backup guns.
yes. He's a young dude. He's just getting into it, so he's actually going to be borrowing my Gen 4 34 for Cornhusker and using my slide with an SRO, and so he'll probably have better luck with that. But watch, that'll be when that was the SRO on that gun is the first one I got, and watch that one die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock on wood. I don't need to be putting that out in the ether.
By that bad juju, so he's gonna go to his first stage and be like, Andy fucking cut the connections, motherfucker.
I'll just take the battery out. He'll hear this. I can't say that on here.
Check the battery. Bring extras.
Different size battery, Kian. I do. Well, wait. What does the Vortex have? Does it have a 2032 or 16?
I don't know. I don't change my batteries enough to remember. My
Okay.
Holosun's either dead or broken. I'm not 100% sure. Which, seeing as how you bought it for me like early when we started the show, means that it's less than a year old.
I'd go with battery.
That's already dead. I'm just like, oh, what's that 50,000 hour lifespan?
Well, they put dog shit batteries in them. The 50,000 hours is real if you put like an actual Energizer lithium battery in it. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check that. What was your other Kian story?
the other Kian story was he shot a Glock match today. They had the annual Glock shooting sports shoot.
Yep, the GSSF.
Yeah. And so I said, he was shooting because he's like, yeah, I'm thinking I can maybe win a gun. And I texted him later and said, so do you think did you win a gun? And he doesn't know yet. And then I said, what did you think of it? His reply, boring as heck.
Yep.
Low level of competition is pretty low. If I get a gun out of it, cool, but I don't see myself doing it again unless I need a gun and decide to kill a weekend rather than just buy one.
Correct.
And he's still new enough where he doesn't qualify as master. Like if you or I shot it, we would have to register as masters. Because we are A class or above in USPSA means you're a master in GSSF.
Which I think invalidates you from getting a gun, or
No, you can, but you only win a gun if you compete as master and there's enough people in that division there has to be enough people in a division to hand out a gun. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know what the number is, but let's say there has to be 10 people in a division before they hand out guns.
Right.
So there would have to be at least another 9 masters for me to win a gun. Of course, I could always just lie and show up and take guns.
Right. Well, because like they run a GSSF match at ENGC, and they tell me that like they know the guys that are going to show up, and they show up with like stack-on cases that have the exact amount of magazines, so that they never have to reload a magazine the entire time they're there, and they have one for each gun for each stage, or sorry, for each gun in each category. So like, because there's like 12 categories or something like that, and so they'll literally just take one stack-on case, put it down, open it up, get the magazine, do whatever, put the gun back, put stack-on case back, grab the next one, do that, and just like cycle through all of the different ones. And I was like, I thought I had a lot of magazines, and they're like, oh, no, they show up to not reload a single magazine the entire morning.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the match was not great for me, but it made me realize I hadn't really touched a gun since Great Plains. Like it had been 2 weeks since I picked up a gun, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to suck at Cornhusker. I want to have a respectable finish. So I should practice. So then the next day, I was supposed to have a lesson. That asshole never showed up. So then I practiced. And it went, I remembered what I was doing wrong because, like, so like training, practice, whatever you want to call it. Basically, if you don't do it enough, your body forgets how to do the things automatically.
Correct.
That's all it is. You're just not doing things automatically. And when you've switched over to super heavy guns that don't kick around a whole lot, you tend to not grip them the way you're supposed to. I'm gripping them hard enough to shoot and hit stuff, but they don't return real good when you don't grip them hard. They return kind of shitty. Also, if your shoulders get real tight because, okay, I'm going to go Ricky Bobby and I'm going to have really tense, wound up shoulders and then your gun and arms turn into a diving board as you're shooting Ricky Bobby fast. That also, the classifier I shot a mid B class score, baby. Yeah. Put this master back in B class. We're on our way. And it was all 100% due to shit grip, tense shoulders. And as soon as I, had to think about it for several runs, I probably shot 500 rounds that day. Some of them were with your PCC. More on that later. But it just came down to basic fundamentals I was doing wrong. Not gripping the gun hard enough, and my shoulders are super tense, arms and gun bouncing around all over the place.
Yep.
Simple as that. And just sort of, okay, now I'm going to keep this week dry firing. I'm going to make sure, okay, every run I'm going to not be super tense in my shoulders, and I'm going to grip the ever-loving piss out of the gun. I realized I was not gripping the piss out of the gun when I realized that, after I got done with this practice session, there's a couple spots on my hands that hurt.
Yeah.
That's a good sign you haven't been practicing. When your knuckle under the trigger guard on your firing hand, and when I shoot the Shadow 2 or my TAC Sport, I have a couple of spots on my support hand knuckles, or not knuckles, like sort of in the palm near the knuckles that actually get a little chewed up because my fingernails from my other hand kind of rub on it. And yeah,
for me, it's the fat on my hand, fat under my thumb. That's what gets it all nice and raw.
Yeah, well, yeah, that part was also a little raw, but it was not as bad as those other spots were. And yeah, so I just need to remember to not be dumb and do fundamental things correctly and hammer those in, and it should be better come the weekend. But before we talk about anything else this coming weekend, or how my freezer ruined ammo loading for me, patreon.com/notanothershootingshow. It's only $3.57 a month, and you get an entire second episode every single week. Our Reddit is busy this week. We actually are in the positive side of visits. What was it? Up 873 visits. Wow. Up to 287 people on our freaking subreddit. That's wild. Reddit.com/r/NASS. MW Activewear is who you need to get your jerseys from. Michelle does a wonderful job. Matches, Area 3 registration, down to 90 slots. Cornhusker Classic, sold out. You can't go if you're not already registered.
Yep.
It's all full. I'm shooting with Brucey and North Dakota Brent, who lives in Colorado, and other people. It was sort of like, it's sort of hard at this match. Like, Steven sent out an email to staff, like, where we can shoot, and I'm like, ooh. Both squads that I was looking at would be fun, but, like, a bunch of people on that squad, like RJ and Kara and Owen, I just shot with them at Northwoods, and I kind of saw Bruce at Great Plains, but didn't shoot with him. So I'm going to go shoot with Bruce and folks on that squad. So there's where I went. Free State Championship, August 30th, sold out. Waitlist is open. Anytime a match is sold out, but there's a waitlist, get on the waitlist, because you can always say no to the spot if your name comes up. So
right. And you just never know. I mean, one year at Cornhusker, we had like 12 or 15 people drop out, and it was a little short notice, but like it just happens. Life gets fucking weird and shit happens.
And you can, I don't know how, I don't want to say you could always get away with it, but you could probably walk up. Someone's not going to show up at Cornhusker. Someone's not going to show up.
We literally have a list of 5 guys that we don't think are going to show up.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if you show up to a match that is sold out, you couldn't get on the wait list, if you roll up, day of the match and just go, hey, got any no-shows? I'll take a spot. Here's money.
Right.
It could happen.
It can definitely happen, or go watch the Super Squad. Like, it'll be interesting, but we're not making any guarantees. Steven might stab us in the neck if we try to be like, hey, like 6 people just randomly show up. Steven will love to have you just randomly show up and check in.
I'm not promising, but like if that had happened at Great Plains, there was a squad that had like 4 people not show up. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Like we'll take your money. Absolutely. People make such a big thing about, but now I have to resync the tablets.
Takes like 3 seconds and you hit a button.
Okay. I guess we're a little spoiled because we have Wi-Fi on the entire facility, so it's super easy. But you can just add shooter. Like, I'm not a complete dictator when it comes to tablets. I know sometimes people have to be, but I would just tell them, okay, add this dude to your squad, and I'm gonna sync it, as we go. But anyway,
yep.
Okay. I had my day of ammo loading ruined. I was supposed to be loading ammo today. I shot my last 500 rounds of 9mm that I had loaded.
Yep.
In my practice session, so I need to load some ammo for the weekend, and I got none of it loaded because our garage deep freeze stopped working on Saturday. My wife got up and there was like stuff was not frozen where it's supposed to be like 0 degrees. Yep. And there's water kind of dripping out the bottom. And I was teaching a class, so I didn't even find out about it until after class was over. And I get home and there's ice everywhere. Take the stuff apart and I'm chipping ice out and taking all the stuff that was still in there, like my elk meat. I have like another 20 pounds of elk meat that I still hadn't gotten around to either cooking or grinding.
Yep.
And so instead of loading ammo all afternoon like I planned on, I had another thing that popped up out of nowhere this afternoon. I had to start grinding meat so I didn't lose it. That will make me cry. So that's still sitting in the cooler. But then I was going to try and use it with like this rendered beef tallow. It's basically hardened cooking oil.
Okay.
That's beef that my wife got at Costco. And I tried grinding with that, knowing like this is probably not going to work. And like it worked, but I'm afraid as soon as it starts cooking, all of that's just going to run out. And because it's like fat that's already been cooked into an oil and then cooled and hardened. So
yeah,
I don't think that's going to work out so good. So I went to 2 Hy-Vees and a local meat market, and all of the above had no trim fat left. So they're going to save some for me at one of the Hy-Vees in town for tomorrow. So I had to put it all away. And then while I was running around looking for that, another thing sort of ruined my ammo loading today. I get a message over Telegram from Tom Nelson from the Paracast. Said, hey, what's your Discord name? And I sent it to him. And then I realized, wait, like I don't just randomly hear from Tom unless I'm doing their show. I mean, very rare occasions I have, but it just not for that sort of thing. Not like, hey, I want to send you a friend request on Discord. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be on your show today? Because Robert had asked me a few weeks ago, but I could have done it last Sunday because we didn't record, but none of them were around to record. So I was like, Robert never contacted me about it, but I had just found out I can't grind meat today, so I could be on in like 30 minutes. And then I hear nothing. And I hear nothing, and I hear nothing. And then I text Robert. I'm like, hey, were you counting on me being on your show today? Oh, yeah, we're just waiting for you.
What the fuck?
I know.
I fucking hate that shit. Motherfuckers, if you message me on something and I message you back on the thing you messaged me on, bro, fucking spawned, or I want to throw hands with you. Like, fuck a motherfucker.
So
I'm waiting on you. Did you message me that you were waiting on me, motherfucker? Because just for some behind the scenes baseball, Andy fucking messaged me 3 times to let me know that he had sent me the email because I was getting a pop from the vending machine.
But we were all planned. So anyway, I was like, yeah, I can't grind meat anymore. So sure. And then so I hopped on with those guys, and Tom was only on for about 45 minutes before he had to leave. And so then Robert and I did another like hour and a half after that, or hour and change.
What did you talk about?
I don't know. We're both left-handed and both have ADD. We can both talk a lot. We talked about a lot of shit.
Yeah, like we've talked about before. When you put podcasters on together, you're like, oh, we know how to fill time.
He actually mentioned that when that you said that when he was on our show. So, and then and then when we were hanging up, he said, "Well, thanks so much for doing it." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for not inviting me."
All right, our war with the Paracast continues.
Yeah, it's back on, baby. Fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys.
Don't give them $1 on Patreon. Screw that. Okay, Jeff, are you a tryhard?
I'm tryhard curious. I don't know. I
give
feel
your
like
explanation, then I'm going to give you the actual answer.
Okay, well, I posted a video a picture on my Instagram of Steven about to shoot the stage this morning, and said, I'm being bullied. And Tanfo Timmy messaged me. He goes, oh, is someone a tryhard? And I was like, sometimes I get the motivation and I try sometimes, but I don't. But this was, in my defense, this was only the second time I've been to the Sunday morning practice session of the tryhards this year. So I don't feel like the tryhard I once was. And so I don't feel like I'm on that level anymore.
I think you and I we're both still tryhards, but we're not the same tryhard we were 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes, that makes sense.
I still care. I still do practice, but I don't practice like I used to. Right. I was literally every single morning dry fire. Monday through Friday, every single morning, dry fire before work. Religiously. I took my off season whenever the last match was in October through the first of the year, and then first of the year I started up again. And this year I have probably dry fired a total of 30 times this year so far. Most of it before. I actually did dry fire quite a bit in January, first of the year.
New year, new me.
And then that faded. And then I basically dry fired before the night match, and then before Northwoods. And yeah, but I always have there's no reason I can't be dry firing because there's always 15 minutes in the morning I'm dicking around.
Right, but the problem is, so this will sound pretentious to like a C-class shooter listening to this, but like when you're a master class, there's really not that much to get better on. Like
I disagree, but finish your thought.
The low-hanging fruit is not there anymore. It is refining a skill that you're already one of the top 500 people on the planet at.
I don't think you're quite that high, but I get what you mean.
Right. And so, yeah, can my reload be 0.1 faster or more consistent? For me, 100%. But can my draw be 0.1% faster or 0.1 seconds faster? Probably. Could my splits be 0.01 faster? Maybe not for me. I like to split hard. But like we're grinding the edges off of the thing. We're not taking off chunks where we're like, man, I used to like miss the magwell completely. Now it goes in most of the time. There's just the diminishing returns has hit hard, and so you're seeking out 1 or 2% here and there against is how I feel.
I disagree with you're not gaining new skill. You can actually regress. That's what I found out this week.
Yes, you can.
Is regression is 100% a thing. When I started shooting the tax, remember last year when I started shooting the tax sport and it was giving me a boner all the time, and it was like, oh my God, this gun is the easy button. Holy shit. I'm like actually a master because I changed guns and blah, blah, blah. And I don't practice as much. Okay. Yep. But what I had been doing for the previous 3 years was shooting a Glock.
Right.
So you got that
new car boner. Yep.
Well, I got new car boner, but it had nothing to do with that. The perceived increase of skill was not increased. It was just the gun maximized my skill because it was an inherently easier gun to shoot than the Glock 34. So I remember shooting at targets and like my eyes were slower than the gun. Like I was getting ahead of where I was looking because it was so freaking easy to shoot.
Yep.
And so then it was like, oh, must be more aggressive. And I got more aggressive and I was still shooting nothing but alphas. But now I've shot nothing but heavy guns for most of the last year. Right. Guess what happened? My grip sucks balls.
Yep. When you train the harder style and then go to the easy style, you're like, man, this is so much easier. I'm so better, blah, 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 blah. And then it's really hard to go back to the hard style of training and like get the benefits out of it. Because I see this in the fight world, everyone talks about, well, in a lot of athletics, people talk about like training at altitude. And the actual studies around training at altitude are it takes you 6 weeks to get acclimated to it. And then you lose the benefits of it in about 3 days when you go back to lowlands.
But I had my college roommate, my freshman year of college, playing football. He lived in Hill City, South Dakota, went to high school there. About 5,000 feet, I think, is the elevation there. And they would go play schools in western South Dakota where most of the places they played were a bit lower than that, but around 3,000 feet. But they would play 2 games way on the other side of the state where the elevation's like between 1,000 and 1,500 feet. And he was like, I could sprint for days when we did that. But they're literally hopping on a school bus, driving 6 hours, and playing a football game.
Right. So they never fully acclimated to it.
Right. And they never got acclimated to the extra oxygen.
Yeah. Well, or they never lost that acclimatization.
Acclimatization?
Yes. Let's go with that one.
Okay.
From the high altitude to the low altitude, whereas like within like the fight world, people will be like, oh, Team Elevation out of like Denver, they must do good at all UFC events. And you're like, oh, no. You fly in 10 days before the event starts. Like,
oh, yeah.
They've lost the majority of benefit that came from training at high altitude. So, but yeah, going back to it, it's like, yeah, training with a Glock made you have to focus on all the little bits of it.
My grip was perfect.
Right. And so when you went to the tax sport, you had this perfect grip. And then a few days of not training later, you gripped it again. You're like, well, this grip is fine. Like I'm still getting alphas with it. It's fine. And then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Like,
and a year later, it's dog shit.
Right. Cause when I start shooting in the morning on one of these try hard sessions, my shooting feels like this gun, what the fuck's going on? I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. The gun feels weird in my hand. The dot's not where I want it to be, all the shit. By the end of it, I'm back to where, okay, when I go for that gun, it is in my hand and up at my eye, right where I want it to be. I'm splitting where I want it to be. I'm transitioning where I want it to be. I'm coming into positions low. Like I have that. Kind of going back to my point, what my skill level is trying to take where I'm at 300 rounds into a training session and make that my zero.
Mm-hmm.
And that that's difficult. And there aren't the giant gains for ADHD defined dopamine from.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to grind out. Again, going back to is like, I'm not the tryhard I was when I made it from C class to A class to M class. Like that tryhard guy moved along. We talk about this in the fight world, is like when you're 18, you're like, coach, I want to fight. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to die in that ring. Like, let's go. When you're in your 30s, you're like, ugh. Oh, training sounds so hard. And like, I want to fight like a really big dude and it's going to hurt. Like, fuck me. I don't know. And like to quote the modern vernacular, you just don't got that dog in you anymore.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like you do lose it after a certain bit, and you can either replace it with discipline or you can just accept where you're at. And I feel like I've accepted where I'm at and been like, okay, like, can I improve a little bit more? Yeah. Do I have the time, the motivation and structure to increase my ability like say Steven or Lane does? No, I don't. Like those motherfuckers, like I look at their training and go, God damn guys, like calm down. But it's annoying because I know I can do it, but once you've lived with ADHD for 33 years, you kind of learn to be like, I know I can do a lot of shit. I just have to use a skill set I don't have to get there. And that's the problem.
Yeah. But here's the thing though. In the last year, the times where I could have practiced and didn't because, I had to do this other thing, or I had to do this other thing. Well, even when I was out there, I had to clean the clubhouse because it was still a disaster from Great Plains, and I had to teach a class in there on the next day, this past Saturday. And you've been in our clubhouse in Canton. It's one big room. So, like, all the shit is still everywhere. Like, there was a couple of cases of Target steel paint on the floor, and there's just shit everywhere. And so I spent 2 hours cleaning that up before I'm like, because this has to get done. The practice does not have to get done. So I was already deprioritizing the practice, but I did actually do the practice. And the thought even went through my head, like, or you could just go home.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, you're here. Just fucking do it. And I did it. Oh yeah, I remembered. This is fun. I forgot it was fun, but I'm thinking about all the shit I need to do today, and it made me want to skip it. And then I remembered, oh yeah, shooting a pistol fast is fun. Right. I remember I like getting better.
Yeah. It part of it, another piece to it is like the social aspect for me, at least. Like I train better when I have other people around. If I don't have them around, I can sometimes get into, okay, you have bullets, fire bullets. Okay, now we're out of bullets, go home. Mm-hmm. Whereas with people around, I'm like, okay, like focus on what you're trying to do because they'll mock you, and you need to try to be better. And that's why having training partners like Lane or Steven are good for me, because when I have a shitty run, I turn around and they go, do you really want to talk about that, or do you want to try again? And it's like,
I don't think I could practice with those guys because I'd be too busy like having fun talking shit that I wouldn't. I have a hard time compartmentalizing the fun from the work of a practice. Like I've almost always exclusively practiced alone. Right.
So you wouldn't have that problem because, well, especially with Lane, he just doesn't allow it. So like I got talking before my first run, and he goes, "Hey motherfucker, get up there. We got 4 people. We don't got time to jaw jack. Get the fuck up there and start shooting."
Oh, gotcha. Like,
okay. So like Lane is the taskmaster, and
he keeps you all focused.
Oh yeah, and Steven will talk some shit, but like everything is, the system still has to be working. So like you can talk shit to the person who's going, but they better still be going, or else Steven or Lane will be like, "Why is no one shooting? There are 4 of us here. A gun should be going off right now."
Yeah. Well, I'm still gonna say you're a tryhard.
Yeah, I mean it's
because you did practice. If you weren't a tryhard, you would never practice.
True. That's it. You're right. I don't use the term derogatorily.
No, I don't. I used to think of it as a derogatory term for the absolute crazy nerds. Right. But I don't think of it that way at all anymore. I don't think of it as negative at all. It's just like, do you give a shit enough to practice a lot?
Right.
You're a tryhard.
Right. It's
or not even a lot.
Right. It's an acknowledgement, like, especially within USPSA, there is a giant line between I literally never practice. Like my monthly match is I go get my gun, or I didn't even take my gun out of the bag and I'm just grabbing the bag and going to the match, and then I'm going to put it back down, and then the next time I pick it up will be going to the next match. Like those are casuals. Those are the normies. Those are 60 to 80% of a match in most clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the tryhards that if you show up for one practice session a month, you're a tryhard. Like if you dry fire, you're a tryhard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then there's a scale to the tryhardness. And I think that
big spectrum.
Right. And I think that's where my mind kind of like almost, because I'm not at the top end of try hard, that must mean I'm not a try hard. And again, using the criteria I just said, that I have picked up a gun and shot it outside of a match one time in a month, I'm already a try hard.
You and I are on the bottom of the try hard. We're in the lower third for sure of the try hard spectrum.
Right. But we do practice. We do dry fire. We are just not on the Christian Seiler, Ben Stager, Lane Grease, Stephen Tomlinson, like dry fire every day.
I've never been on that level. I mean, I've been on that dry fire spectrum, but live fire, I've just never had the time or money to do it that much. Like,
right.
I can't afford to shoot 1,000 rounds a week. That's just not a thing I am financially able to do. But I can dry fire a shitload and live fire once every other week and put in a real good practice session. And I got, like, before I beat you and Steven at 2023 Iowa section, which I have to say the year because it was a while ago. I just put in like 2 practices in the 2 weeks before that match, and I very focused on the things I was not good at and very focused on visualization and stage planning, and by golly, it worked real good.
Yeah. And some matches, one thing I people need to understand about matches is like, some days you're going to have an epic match and everyone around you is going to have a shit match, and it's going to warp your perception. Cause like I finished 2% behind Lane at Great Plains. Do I think I'm 2% behind Lane in skill set? Absolutely fucking not. In no way, shape or form. But I did finish.
Where would you say what kind of a day did he have? Did he shoot normal Lane Grease, or was he a little above or a little below?
It was an aggressiveness that cost him several mics, and I had one person almost say, they refer to it as shooting scared. Like, I think Eggleston also, like, I don't think Eggleston shot to Eggleston's peak ability, but he did shoot very well, and I think that kind of put the screws into Lane's mindset a little bit, because it's kind of our first major of the year.
Yeah.
So being on Super Squad and watching, I won the first stage on my squad, and being like, oh, that fucker won the first, like that might have fucked this head, and like that steel stage fucked all the tryhards up. Like, so I don't know. I think Lane didn't have the day that he normally would at, say, nationals. Steven shot like a fucking asshole, but fucking like 5 mics, 5 mics and 2 DQs. Like, let's be honest here. Nick shot with his fucking hair on fire. Like, when Nick puts shit together, it looks amazing. It's just that when it doesn't come together, it looks like absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
So that there was a lot of dudes there that were not performing at the ability I know they can perform at, and I went back to old Jeff that I had to explain to the new guys, like, oh, you guys have been in the sport for 3 or 4 years. I've been in it for 8 years. Like, I have a whole saga that you weren't witness to. That I used to be a turtle, that I went an entire year. I think it was at every major, I didn't shoot a delta or a mic for the entire year. So,
wow, that's slow.
Yeah. So like, but we talked about this with Cornhusker or with Great Plains. I shot like 20 something seconds slower than the guy than Casey Ryan.
Yep.
I just shot all the fucking alphas.
Oh God, I'm so proud of our match there. I talked about this on the Paracast today too, that it was by far, I think the best set. I said this after the match too. It was the best set of stages we've ever had, collectively, because it was a whole bunch of different sources, and the ones that Josh picked were, whether it was deliberate or not, it was all the stages had the right sort of dare you to fuck it upness.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And
yeah, the triple stage, you everyone wants to go brat 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 on every target, and you're like, oh no, you can't do that. You still gotta get 3 alphas.
Yeah, and like it behooved you to stay farther away from a lot of those targets on the right because you had stuff on the left you wanted to be closer to, and the angles were just going to be better. Did your squad do that? Kind of hang left?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we all just followed the left line.
Yeah, but that put you farther away from all those targets on the right.
Yep.
And I had, Charlie's I shouldn't have had over there. I was shooting major, so I didn't care so much. But, I just hearing that reaction, that makes my tail wag. Okay. Now I want to talk about how PCC puts the P in Pride.
Hell yeah.
We're recording this on June 1st, so happy Pride Month, everybody. I shot a PCC in honor of Pride Month. Jeff loaned it to me. I took it out the other day, and I shot about 100 rounds through it. And I underestimated. Here's the one thing about shooting PCC that I never really thought about. And this is the same for shooting a rifle match too. Yeah, you don't have to draw a gun. But if you haven't really worked out how to get stock from belt to shoulder quickly, like that is a skill of shooting PCC.
Yeah.
It is a thing that will slow you down a shitload if you don't have a good mount, if you will.
Yeah, mounting the gun is their draw.
Yeah, and it's easier than drawing. It can be much faster, but when you've never really done it, it was way longer than my draw.
Yeah, there's a lot of rifle instructors that have, hour or 2 hour segments of their rifle class that is just getting the gun into the shoulder and the dot at your eye.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a skill that as pistol shooters we have zero respect for you for.
Right.
But
it is 100% a skill. And as I went, it wasn't taking me long. Like I have shot a lot of rifle. I've shot some like practical carbine classes to newbies. So like, I shot a lot of 3-gun too. So I had that skill back there, but it was like, I haven't done this in a long time. And when I was teaching those though, I wasn't really worried about mounting it fast because usually at a rifle match, you're just you're moving and you're mounting on the move and, sort of like a draw, run 3 steps, and then you start shooting. So your draw doesn't have to be awesome. But as I was shooting your PCC though, I was like, oh, that was when I looked at like the first shot time and the first one was like 158. Oh, damn. That's not good. Like I was dicking around with that stock more than I thought I was. And the dot wasn't right in front of my eye right away either. I've never shot a rifle. I take that back. I haven't Steel Challenge, but you're already looking down the rifle in that. I had never, like you have a pistol dot on your PCC.
Yep.
And that is not the same as having like a full size 510 Hollow Sun or some other larger 1X optic. So no, I had fun with it. I shot about 100 rounds. And when this was the thing that I worked super hard on both with pistol and rifle the other day was, okay, eyes drive the gun. Eyes drive the gun. And by the time I was finishing with pistol, like it was, okay, yep, that's how this goes. That's right. This is how you do it. And even shooting the PCC, like I overswung a lot. Even though my vision was driving it, I would fly past it and wasn't like gently coming in. But no, I get why people like it. It is fun. I also I'm one of these people who, unless it's like a local club match, I'm not looking at overall ever.
Right.
And if I am looking at overall, it's only for like if I'm shooting LO, I'm looking at the good carry optics and open shooters.
Yep.
And even then, I don't compare myself to PCC. So
no, it's its own sport, and
yeah, they're playing a different game.
Like we said, I've learned that I give zero respect to rifles when they do deserve some respect. Like
Absolutely, but it's their own game within our game.
Right, it's their own game, but like even like my individual performance with them is it like at rifle matches or when me and Lane do our tactical abomination training or I do PCC at like Steel Challenge, I shoot like an asshole when I have a rifle because I just don't. I'm like, this should be fucking easy, so throw thing around and blat, and you're like, no, there's still some level to it, and you know, like they're a C-class PCC shooter and Max Lee Grandis, you can literally hear and see the difference between the two.
Yeah.
But a C-class PCC shooter is going to jerk off as they crush the other 12 people at their local match that are all shooting pistols because rifle is rifle.
Yeah.
And it is 25-yard target, blat blat. 35 yards small popper, blat, no problem.
Well,
whereas pistol you got to aim.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily true because like Josh Vanatop ran Great Plains. His main game, he was shooting pistol lately, but his main game is PCC. He's kind of a 3-gunner at heart. And I think this match is the first time he's ever beat me with his PCC when I was shooting a pistol. But I also completely shit the bed in the match, so that's how that happened. But just wanted to point that out, Josh. I already knew you knew that.
Where was the highest PCC guy? We didn't really have any.
At Great Plains?
Yeah.
Dude that used to live in the Carolinas. He lives out in Rapid now. He won it. I can't think of his name.
It was like Iced Tea.
Yeah, he puts his name in his iced tea, and it's like Terrence or something like that.
Right, and it says he's a GM, but
yeah.
Do I have this? Oh, I think I have the. Oh, yeah, that's why. But so I learned how you can change Practice Square Competitor to only show the divisions you care about, and so I had removed him from that, and so I couldn't. I was like, why can't I fucking find him? And then I was like, oh, because you only have LO and CO in there. Duh.
Mm-hmm.
So where I just fucking found him. Oh, there he is. He finished 19th overall. So he's a GNPCC and he shot 81% of Colin Maxon, who won the match with Open Major.
It's interesting depending on the match because there's at Area 3 over the years, once PCC became a thing, the open pistol shooters were smacking the PCC guys in the face with their cock. Like,
yep.
It was because there would be a bunch of good open shooters at Area 3 back in the day, and they were just like, rifle, whatever, you know. I mean, like the best of the best PCC shooters weren't there. You know, it's not like Max was there every time or
right. Well, and it is
anybody like that.
They were still developing how they do shit fast.
Yeah, it wasn't to where it ended up being, but yeah, it was. But I mean, a good open shooter, if the course is, if the stages are tough on positioning, an open shooter is going to be the PCC shooter. Like the best open shooters will beat the best PCC shooters every time. Because like when they have to lean off to the right, that's way easier to do with a pistol than it is with a rifle. If there's a lot of sort of snaky movement, that's a lot easier with a pistol than it is with a rifle.
Correct.
But long shots, way easier with a rifle than with a pistol. So,
yep.
There's all that. Okay.
So, a few more fun things about our session today because today turned into a very fun I showed up at 8:30, which I was late. I know, right? I'm
early.
Scum.
They get there that early on Sunday?
Yeah. Lane would get there at 7 if other people would show up. But
he doesn't want to set up by himself, so.
Well, he'll set up by himself if he has to, but he's learned that like I barely show up at 8, so showing up I'm like, could we do 9? He's like, it could be taken. There was one other fucking tactart. Oh, the fucking tactarts. We'll talk about them. One of them got into a minor argument with Lane, which was hilarious.
Oh God.
So we started training. We were having a grand old time. And Steven gets a call from our buddy Austin. And Austin's like, Austin, who does not have a membership at our club.
And a membership costs what? Like $120 a year?
$120 or $150 a year.
Okay.
Something like that. And so Austin had texted Steven at like 9:15 and was like, hey, I'm getting in my car. I'm heading that way, which means it's like a 30 to 45 minute drive, depending on where I think Austin was about 45 minutes away. So he got there 9:45, 10-ish. And he calls and Steven's like, I'm not de-gunning and getting in my car and driving to the front of ENGC to pay for your guest, or like sign you in for the guest fee. He's like, put the RO on. So the RO is like, hey, like this dude says he's your guest. He's like, he is my guest. Can he just sign his name next to mine? Or do I have to literally drive up there to literally do that? And the guy's like, yeah, he could just sign it. So it's a $10 fee for guest. Guess who didn't have fucking cash?
Oh my God.
So Steven, being the kind soul that he is, told him to just go home. Like, cut your losses was his direct quote.
So wait, I don't know who your fourth was. Was Austin your fourth?
No, Nick was our fourth.
So Austin went home?
No. Oh, no. He went back to Louisville to the gas station, paid the ATM fees instead of buying something from the gas station and get me $20 back, and then drove back to the range. So we were already like, we're on our last run, and Austin rolls up, and I'm like,
God, that's so funny.
I'm like, homie, Jesus Christ. And so Austin did this thing where Austin is the cheapest motherfucker on the planet.
Yeah.
He bought Magtech steel case. And the bad thing about Magtech steel case is it looks like good ammunition. It has like a blue tint to it, but it looks almost like a blued nickel rather than, like Wolf steel case, which is just like a light black.
Yeah.
And so he's like loading it. He rolls up there and he starts loading his mags or whatever. And Lane basically told us, he's like, 4 is the maximum number of people that I will train with at any given time. And I'm like, that's a reasonable number. So Austin rolls up and starts loading his mags. And I was going to tell him, like, yeah, you can't shoot this around Lane because he's going to try to pick up brass. And if he fucking picks your shit up and it breaks his press, he's going to kill you. And so,
luckily, come on, Lane, buy a freaking magnet. Jesus, if you're not running a magnet through your brass, like, because there's steel, like copper plated steel, like it looks like brass, but it's steel.
Yep.
I run a magnet through my brass all the time.
Oh, I've never had to because I'm a pretentious bitch, but
I buy my brass. Oh.
Correct, 110%. But so luckily Owen showed up and so the two of them went to go train on another bay, and so I like went over to check on them, and Austin training is the funniest thing on the planet. He does not have a timer, or at least he did not bring a timer, so he was borrowing one, and then like so they were doing the same thing we do, where we set up like a mock stage, and then you run it 3 or 4 times. And then you go, okay, I'm changing the order of the targets or the start position or whatever. And so like watching them do it, they just kept making kind of the same plan over and over again, because there was this one target they just weren't shooting. And I was like, guys, I'm getting kind of confused here. And finally Austin's like, I got this. I got a new one for us. And he says it, and he's double engaging a target, which in practice is fine. I think it's putting too much information on one target, so you can't really figure out what you're doing. But he didn't realize he was double engaging the target.
Oh, that's much worse.
Yeah, and it was a Tux. It was a Tux IPSC, and it was the only Tux IPSC they had out there. And he was like, yeah, shoot the Tux from here, skip this no-shoot one that we've been shooting, and then go to the middle and shoot the Tux, and da-da-da. And I go, why are you double engaging that target? And he's like, I'm not double engaging a target. I'm like, you're fucking double engaging a target. And he's like, where? And I'm like, it's one of those moments where someone questions you and you're like, am I retarded? because I feel like I'm retarded because this feels so easy to see. But yeah, he finally went, oh, I am double shooting that one. I'm like, I need to go home. Like I can't. So it was a good day. Austin likes to show us the level of dumb shit he can do. Like he asked me, hey, do you want to stay together? And I'm like, okay, sure, for Area 3, because I wasn't invited to Steven's Airbnb. I don't know. Well, they're not coming up for the staff part, and I'm supposed to be up there for the staff part. So
well, I'm gonna invite you over to Brucey's house. How about that? You can sleep on the couch, big comfy couch they got. I get the bed, the spare bedroom, but you can have the couch.
I'm down for a couch or blow up mattress. Like, let's fucking go.
I'm gonna invite a bunch of people to Bruce's house to stay there.
Well, Austin's staying with us too. But
okay.
But yeah,
Austin, you're sleeping with Jeff at Bruce's house.
Correct, because he was going to sleep in his car.
I do that for hunting, but that's different. I do that so that I'm there when I wake up in the morning. I don't have to drive there. Right.
If
you're going to sleep in your car, Austin, stay at the fucking range.
Right. be the range guard.
Yeah.
But
actually, no, just sleep at the truck stop. It's 10 miles from the range. Out on the interstate. Just sleep at the truck stop. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Right. But he just every day that I train with him, I'm just like, some days, Austin,
that's so funny.
You silly motherfucker. And he was like, how often do you need to change a shadow or like clean a shadow too? I'm like, once a year. And he was like, okay, good, because I haven't cleaned mine yet. I'm like, Jesus Christ. He only has one. It's his match gun, and he dry fires with it, but he only has one. And I'm like, oh, no. Because what Lane figured out is you need 4 guns. And anyone who disagrees with me is wrong.
Hold that thought. I want one more. I have a thought on Austin. Okay. I'm not going to say he's the dumbest tryhard because he sent me a message this week out of the blue. Actually, it was just yesterday or the day before. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. I just wanted to read it verbatim. It said, this was yesterday at 1:19 p.m. Metallica is growing on me, sir. Well, duh, it should. They're fucking awesome.
How did you make it into your late 20s, early 30s without
knowing that Metallica is awesome? I don't know.
Yeah. Again,
I mean, he's a lot younger than me, so I kind of get it, but
I'm not giving him that sympathy.
Okay.
But
now, 4 guns? Yes.
So Lane was practicing, and he's like, yeah, I'm practicing with my match gun. And I was like, oh, is it because, you practice it with your match gun right before your big match? He goes, oh no, my practice gun is down. I was like, oh, ruh-roh. So apparently his SRO crapped the bed, and so he was going to change it out and put another one on and like crack the screws or something in a way that he can't get them out. And so he's got to give it to Vince to unfuck. And so I was like,
learn to use tools, Lane. It's not that hard. It's called a screw extractor tool.
Oh no, he tried a screw extractor tool and it didn't work.
Okay.
Right. But normally I would agree with you because he's broken more Dillon 650s than anyone I know. Like, we're talking like 4 to 7 times that I'm aware of. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he breaks them on like a consistently regular basis.
Does he do it like he's a giant gorilla? And he's trying to fuck the press?
He ugga-duggas it all the time.
Okay.
Just all of the ugga-dugga.
I mean, you can go quick up, quick down, but like when you get to the top or the bottom, you kind of like, it's like a transition. You got to back off.
Right. You got to give it a little pull and slow.
Yeah.
And a little pull and slow. But so I offered him one of my guns. He said that my guns are too different than his gun for him to want to, because he also hates the extended magazines because he's incorrect.
Extended magazines?
Or sorry, extended safeties.
Okay.
He likes the
flat ones?
Yeah. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not turn those on all the time? But apparently
No. If you, like, before I got my extended right-hand safety, like, I could put it on with my right thumb, or take it off, sorry, but it's hard to do. And putting it on is almost impossible with the flat one.
when you form your grip, like bumping it on, you're saying you've never done that.
If it's flat, no.
Yeah.
A flat safety? How are you bumping it on with a flat safety?
I got fat fucking hands.
I think you have no spring in your detent for the safety. I think you have a detent problem if that's the case.
That could also be true. And I don't know. I've always had the shelf one. So like my support hand goes to the bottom of the shelf. So that might also be part of it.
Oh, maybe, but you'd still have to really nail that.
I don't know. And maybe it's a fear that because I didn't practice with one a bunch of times, I didn't deal with.
No, the flat ones I don't think are a problem.
Oh, well.
You like hanging your thumb on the safety anyway, though,
yep.
So that makes sense.
Right. And so it becomes this equation of like, hey, people are like, oh, well, I need 2 guns. And you're like, no, you need 2 guns to go to the major. That's the problem. So if your practice gun goes down, now you're going to a major with 1 gun. Mm-hmm. So you need 2 guns to go to the major. So you actually need a 3rd gun to be your practice gun, like your primary practice gun. And then if you've ever had dot issues or a gun go down, now you're back down to 2 and you're like, fuck, That's why I have 4 at this point, is because I like 1 right now. My Holoson's down because I think the dot died. Like I think the battery's dead. I haven't changed the battery in it yet. But like, so I'm down to 3 guns. And it's like, if one of them takes a shit, okay, now I'm down to 2 guns. And there was a point where I was down to 1 gun because I had fucked up all of my guns.
The problem there was you didn't fix the ones that were broken. You just left them.
Touche, but when I did finally decide to get them fixed, I had to send them all. Well, at the time, I only had 2 Carry Optics practice guns, and both of them were fucked. So I sent them to Vince and the production gun, the Iron Sight gun, because... well, it's just not helping in this situation, so put an optic on it. So having extra guns is always good.
I disagree. I don't think you need 4 guns. You could talk me into a 3rd. Like, when I was shooting Glocks, I technically had a 3rd. I had a 17 with, like, a regular-sized dot on it, like a Holosun 407 full-size dot. And that would have been my, oh, shit, one of my 234s went down. I need another gun. And it was a Gen 4, so if it was just my Gen 5 that went down, well, then I could still throw if it was something in the frame of my Gen 4, I could take the slide off of that with the SRO and put it on the other frame. You know, like, I had options, especially with Glocks. Like, Steven was asking me a while back, you know, right before he blew his Glock up, you know, what all parts do I really need for backups? I'm like, dude, with a Gen 5, you know, as long as you don't double charge ammo, you don't really need much of anything, you know, just second gun mostly for dot going down.
Correct.
Like with the Gen 4s, the one fail point that could get anybody at any time was the old style trigger spring, which was a pull apart style spring. Like it was hooked on either end. And when the trigger was forward, it was stretched out. And when the trigger was pressed, then it would pull back and forth. And I broke that in a club match one time. Luckily, it happened on the last round or on the unload or something of the previous stage. And when I got to make ready on the next stage, the trigger wouldn't go backwards. You know, like the spring was broken. It was clearly not functioning. So I'm like, I need to switch guns. And so I did, and it was all fine. But it's a little different with Glocks. If you're shooting a Glock, I think with something like a CZ or 2011, it's less stupid to need 4, but I still think 3 is, like, if you're shooting a Glock, 2 is plenty. If you're shooting something else, 3, sure, 4, just have extra dots on hand. You know, a whole other gun? No. A backup dot? Like one in a box ready to go? Sure. You know, even if it is, like Kian was talking about how, his dot went down. He's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm like, well, you've got another dot, you said. Just throw that one on. Well, yeah, but it's not the same one. It's like the smaller one. I'm like, okay, you're not talking about the micro, right? Like it's a full size, like 507, 407. He's like, yeah. Well, fuck, just put that on. That'll be fine. Yep. I mean, it's not as good as the comp, but it's good enough, you know?
Right. Well, and it goes back to the idea of like, get a bunch of the same things. so that you aren't having that like, well, this one has a Vortex Defender and this one has a Hollow Sun and this one has an SRO. It's like, get 6 SROs and 6 of these and 6 of these and 6 of these, and you'll never have a problem. Like,
or if you have a bunch of stuff that fits the same pattern, you know,
correct.
if you have Trigicons and Hollow Suns, good to go. Like they're pretty interchangeable. I don't really give a shit about from dot to dot. They're not different enough that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta use this SRO again after shooting 507 comms. This is so different. Like, no,
right,
that's
but
ridiculous.
like a 407 will fuck you up, or an RMR. Like, because some people will be like, well, I have an RMR on my carry gun and I have a SRO on my match gun. And you're
even
like,
if it's full size, it's still not that different. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit lower. You'll have to hold the gun a little bit higher. Like, yeah, that would be more of an adjustment, but it's still, it's not that. I don't think it's that big a deal. As long as you have something to fall back on, I think it's fine.
right, and it just becomes the level of fallback and the level of technical proficiency, because like part of it is that I'm mechanically retarded. Like, I have no problem saying that, and so I could not solve the issues that I was having, but I'm sure that you or someone who has like mechanical ability could have been like, oh, well, I'm just going to take this dot off and this plate off and blah, 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 blah. You did that. And so it just becomes, what level of bullshit can you deal with and how long will it take you to deal with it? So if you're at a match, you're not doing any bullshit. You just need to have a second gun.
Just switch guns. It's that simple.
But if you're like, oh, hey, I've got I've stripped the screw on my dot and my dot is dead. I have the ability to take that screw out. I have the ability to I just need another dot, because boom, another dot on. That one's going back to Trigicon.
Yeah.
Boom, we're done. You're solid for another 3 years. I lack that skill set.
Here's another thing that would be good to have. I said backup dot. Yes, that's true. Also, backup screws. If you're shooting an SRO on a Glock and you're using the MOS plates, and I don't know about other plates, but if you're using the standard MOS plates, you have to have special screws from Trigicon to mount those. And I have no backups if I were shooting those in a match. I have 2 guns, but I don't have any backup screws for those. So if it starts to happen where like the screws that attach the plate to the gun, mine sheared off. That's a much bigger problem than just like, you know, it's another thing on, I've got the backup dot. I've got a backup. I don't have a backup gun, but I got a backup dot. Right. But when I took this dot off, the plate fell off because one of those screws broke, and now I don't have another screw to replace it.
Right.
So
and so
2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Right, but once you're down to 2, that is 1. Now you're at 1, so you need to have 3, because then you can have 2 because 2 is 1, and the math is fun.
That's why I said you could talk me into 3, but not with a Glock.
No, right.
Because the odds of 1 Glock going down are very low. The odds of 2 going down are almost none, as long as you don't do dumb things.
There is a secondary level to this, and it's as long as you're shooting something that everyone is shooting.
Yes.
And you're not trying to win. Like, if your gun's gone down, you've probably lost the match anyways. But if you're not some fucking autistic tryhard like Lane, you can probably borrow one from someone else.
Yeah, if you're shooting a Glock or a CZ, you're golden.
Right. Like if
the 2 most popular guns.
If someone from ENGC that is shooting a Shadow 2 has a carry optic Shadow 2 go down, mine are more like go grab them from the bag. Like, like you're more than welcome to it. I'll get it from you after the match, and your holsters and your mags and everything works fine. So not a big issue. The only question you have to ask is for CZs is did you ream the barrel, and does that matter to you? Because some people get the barrel reamed, and then if you were like, oh, here's my not barrel reamed CZ, you're like, oh, you're gonna have a bad day.
Can be if you're shooting 147 grain bullets and you didn't seat them deep, that could be a problem.
Yep.
This just talking about that just now made me think of something I want to bring up right now. Okay, think about most of the people that shoot at your club. What guns are they shooting?
CZ Shadow 2s.
That's the number 1 gun at your club for a USPSA club match?
Yep.
Okay,
100%.
what's number 2? Basically, it's Glock or 2011.
I'm going to say 2011.
Okay.
Off the people that I deal with, and then Glock would be right after that.
Okay, like somewhere in my local clubs, it's definitely, boy, what's number one? It'd be tough. Ooh. Lately, man, I see more Glocks than anything. Glock's probably number one. I would say it's sort of the slightly different. CZ or some sort of 2011 is probably number two. Probably CZ.
Yep.
Because there's been several of us that have switched to CZs. So CZ's probably number two.
Right.
Most of the Glocks are the newer people. But there's experienced people also shooting Glocks as well. So
right, because they're fine. And it kind of goes back to our conversation we've had before about like, oh, dude, I want mag compatibility. You want to know what you want mag compatibility with? Other people.
Yeah.
That's what you want mag compatibility with. Because you're at a fucking match and you're like, shit, my gun just went down. You have 3 Glock 34s. Can I borrow one?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my Glock holster and my Glock mags will work perfectly in your shit. Great. This is awesome. Or if you're at a club with 20 people who are shooting CZ Shadow 2s, like, oh no, my Shadow 2 went down. Does anyone have an extra? And all the tryhards are going to have at least 2, if not 3, if not 4 Shadow 2s that are like, oh yeah, I have one in the bag. Go grab it. Like, duper 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 duper.
Well, so, I was talking to Kian after our club match on Thursday, and he's like, yeah, I really need to win a gun at this Glock match. I'm like, dude, they're not going to hand you a gun at the match. Like, because he needed it for Cornhusker. I'm like, yeah, no, you're getting a certificate. But I was like, I've got because his is a Gen 4. I was like, I've got a Gen 4 34. Just borrow mine. Yep. Just take the whole thing with you. If you want to swap the mag release around, go for it. But trigger's pretty decent. It's got an SRO on it. Like, just, throw my slide on your gun, on your frame, good to go. Yep. And then if your frame dies, which is super unlikely, right? Then then you'll have to worry about the mag release quick. But it's pretty easy to just do that when there's people around that have your same gun. Oh, I forgot to mention. I don't think I never messaged Heidi about this. Robert Wyatt did say, "Oh yeah, sure, just store your stuff there." One thing I forgot about though, he's left-handed. So she could borrow a gun, but Robert, you're gonna have to swap a mag release around for her because she's one of those weirdo righty people,
the communists.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I could leave a belt that I could just borrow one. I don't know if Robert's belts are big enough for me, but
it's funny, like, kind of going to the social element of our sport, like, if anyone who listens to this who's not in USPSA, which I don't feel like is a large part of our audience, but like if it is, okay.
Definitely some.
Right. What you have to understand is like what we're talking about is I just said that I would give $1,500 to anyone at my club to hold for a day with no question. Mm-hmm. Like no doubt in my mind. Andy just said, I'm going to give anywhere between, like $1,000 and $1,200 to a dude. Like, here you go. Like,
oh yeah, it's $1,100 worth of gun.
Yeah, with no question in our mind.
Yeah,
it's just funny how our community is like. When you think about it, like I leave my bag just sitting on the table. It's like, oh, there's $5,000 worth of gun in there, like, but it's like, oh yeah, like I just leave that sitting on the table with no thought in my brain. Like I was at my dad's ranch and like I left my bag in the car at like the campground. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of nervous. Like I got like some money in that bag. Like I gotta But at a USPSA match, it'll be fine. No one's gonna touch it. Like what the fuck? And so yeah, it's just one of those funny social elements of USPSA that you're like, hey, you need to borrow some gear. You want to hold on to. I mean, Andy's holding on to my fucking $1,500
PCC,
and I'm just like, I literally told him, can I have the bag back because I don't have another rifle back.
He was more concerned about the bag than the rifle.
Right, because I don't want to buy another rifle back.
Because at first I was like, you want it back already? Really? Like, not that I cared. If you needed it back, that's fine. It's your gun. But I was like, I wanted to fuck around with this for the summer, and you didn't have any plans for it. So I was just I misread it at first. I was a little disappointed, and then I was like, oh, he just wants the bag.
yeah, because I just didn't want to buy another rifle bag.
By the way, that's a nice bag. I like that bag.
Oh yeah, they're great.
It's not too big, and it's got big pockets for anything you'd need with a rifle.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, because I only have 3 rifles, so like when I've taken them all out, I just put a towel between each one of them and bloop, and then I can put mags for each of them in all the different pockets, and boom, I'm good to go.
Now, speaking of backup guns, here's a thing that's going to apply to pretty much, well, anybody who hunts. My friend Dustin, he once went on a mule deer hunt to a place I've mentioned many times on this show that is near and dear to my heart, Harding County, South Dakota. It's 7 hours from Sioux Falls. He lives in Canton, which is another half hour away. And he went all the way out there to the far northwestern corner of the state with 1 rifle to hunt mule deer. Now, you might be thinking, well, like, what's the big deal? Well, what the big deal is if you already have a bunch of other rifles in your safe that could also shoot a deer, and you drive 7 hours with only 1, that's dumb. Well, he did that, and he shot at a deer, and this is the guy that invited me to the PRS Pro-Am match. Like, he doesn't miss shit with a rifle, okay? It was a longer shot. It was like 600 yards, but that's nothing for him, okay? Like, I couldn't have made that shot, but with him, with his rifle, he could have made that shot. His scope was off, and there was something else wrong with it. I don't remember the details, but basically his gun was fucked. And it wasn't a case of just re-zeroing. There was something wrong with the scope. I think maybe the mount went bad or something. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, you didn't have a backup? He's like, no. So his options are run to Rapid, buy a bolt gun and scope, have them install it, go somewhere, zero it, or go home and come back one of the next 2 weekends that the season is still going on, because the rifle season is like 2 weeks and 2 days long for deer in South Dakota. So I was like, why didn't you bring a backup? He's like, I just didn't bring a backup. And I never used to, but bolt action rifle's pretty reliable,
Right. It's one of those that you're like a Glock. You're like, I don't need a fucking backup. This thing's work, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they're bulletproof.
Right. And then you get there and a double charge blows the fucking, the whole thing apart. And you're like, oh, fuck. And it's like, luckily your buddy is like, I also have Glockenspiel. Here you go.
And here's why I like the most practical reason for that is, you drop your rifle, scope gets bumped, zero gone. Okay, you can either, and another option is you can go zero the rifle, but that means you got to quit hunting to go zero your rifle, which you could do right then and there, which could potentially scare game away that you're trying to shoot. Or you just go back to the truck and grab the other rifle that's probably in a different caliber, but it's another rifle that you can shoot it with. And when I went elk hunting and got the elk a couple of years ago, I had 2 rifles that were the same caliber, but I had loaded my ammo for my rifle, and my dad had loaded the ammo for his rifle. Both were 30-06, but I actually verified the zero on my way out. I stopped at a range on the way to go hunting, and I actually did have to tweak it a little bit, but that ammo was hand-loaded for that rifle, not mine. So
right.
He gave me ammo, and I ended up shooting my elk with my backup, his rifle, and his ammo, because I had dropped mine and I didn't trust the zero. As it turned out, the zero was fine, but
you never know until you know.
But you don't know, and I don't want to shoot at an elk and be missing. So, and because I ended up getting that elk, it was a very good thing I did. So
right.
Anyway. Holy shit, this show's gone by fast.
Yeah, no, we've been fucking bullshitting. So let's end with so Cornhusker's coming up this next weekend. Andy will be shooting the staff match on Saturday. I will be shooting the competitor match on Sunday. You will see me there Saturday to RO the ROs.
He's working the staff match.
I'm trying to be helpful. We will be set up in. For those of you who know ENGC and those of you who don't know ENGC, it'll be pretty fucking simple.
It won't be hard to find us.
We will be in the shed on the right. Like there's a giant, the biggest shed on Bay 5.
Very centrally located on the range.
that's the one we will be in. We, like we've said before, we would love you to stop by. We would love a quick little discussion. If we're talking to someone,
wait.
If you have time, please wait.
If you want to talk to us, just hang. Just hang on.
If you're like, if you see us and you want to like mention the show or whatever, if we're doing something, please acknowledge that we're doing something. Like, but also understand I'm super awkward. So yay.
So come talk to me first, because I'll be less awkward, and
correct.
I'll be like, just hang tight or whatever, you know.
Right.
I mean, don't walk over and go, hey, what is that? If we're already talking to somebody with microphones in hand, don't do that. But
yep. We will have walkthrough beers.
Yes.
A good old Iowa water, some Busch lattes. So
that's what I'm drinking tonight, because it's left over from what we were supposed to hand out at Great Plains.
Right. So we'll be hand, while we do want you to, you know, if you're listening to this, you're welcome to grab one as you're walking through, and we would love to talk to you, but if there isn't time, we understand, but we would love it if you crack it and sit with us while you're drinking it. Tell us about yourself or your match or whatever.
And I am particularly more interested in talking to you if you're not a try-hard GM sort of person.
Because we've interviewed all of them before.
We did that last year. Like,
last year
I just want to talk to dudes, especially if you're fun.
Right.
I don't care if you're any good at shooting.
do you want to do anything after the match or after?
I want to sit on your chest.
Oh yeah, we're going to do that one. Don't worry, we can do that.
I don't know if we can do that publicly, because I'm kind of thinking I'm going to come to your gym on Friday.
Yeah,
and like we'll just do that. And I've got a tripod, and we'll set that up, and we'll record it.
It won't take very long. It'll be fun.
And wear your hat cam.
Okay,
that'll be so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll knock that out.
Here's the view Andy's wife sees.
Oh, look at that! Look at all those chins.
Hey, I've lost weight, fucker.
I know. And anyone who's ever taken a low angle photo knows just how bad you can look.
Oh,
you're just like, how do I have 8 chins all of a sudden?
Oh, dude, I was so happy with how I looked when I was on the Paracast today, because they do video, and I'm like, my double chin's kind of mostly gone.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So there is a bar in Louisville. Would you like a post recording meetup
like
there?
Where to go somewhere?
Or do you think that might be too much?
Like I want
to. They do have food. Is
it good?
Yes. Yeah. We eat there after every match. So, Good Times in Louisville. We will be stopping there.
Okay, I guess that's where we're going.
7 or 8. We'll post. I'll post it on the Reddit in case, like, if you aren't listening. Well, if you're listening to this, you should know we'll be going to Good Times. It's a nice little bar. It's your standard small town. Well, it's not your standard small town
bars. It's got to be cheaper than everything in Omaha too.
Oh,
right?
it is. $4.50 shots or $4.50 drinks. Like
Good Time Saloon. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It also has a speakeasy. I think it'll be open. Yeah. So
what do you mean a speakeasy?
So they behind a fake bookshelf is a stairway or stairs to the top floor where they have a like cocktail bar that serves nice drinks, and they also have a cigar night.
Oh, I confused speakeasy with whorehouse. My bad.
Yes, it's a bordello.
Yeah.
There'll be women in corsets. And...
I was thinking of Pam's Purple Door in Deadwood. My bad. That's where my head went right away. My bad.
So,
wait, is prostitution legal in Nebraska?
No.
Oh, okay.
Gambling's barely legal. We won't even legalize weed, even though every state around us has. So I think that kind of covers. So that'll be Saturday. So for our Friday people, you tend to be our direct acquaintances. Let us know. I have no problem ROing hungover, so I will drink with you till the sun goes.
Yeah, I was planning on coming late Friday, but I think I'm planning on coming early Friday now. So like, especially now that I'm gonna sit on your chest and all that nonsense.
Giggity.
Yeah.
That has been the audio request of the fucking week. Like, I've had multiple people who are like, so he's gonna come on your chest. Like, what's going on with that? Or no, you're going to get him off on your chest. Let's go.
Oh God, I can't wait. That's gonna be so funny. Just don't hurt me, okay? Like that's all I ask. Don't injure me. Do you have like headgear I can put on?
I do, but you won't need it. It'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I've had multiple concussions already playing football. I don't need another one.
Right. The move I will use will take about 6 seconds, so it'll be great.
Okay. I
actually know how dirty that sounds.
Well, I sometimes it's been 6 seconds before. I'm not gonna lie. I had when I was a kid wrestling, I wrestled with like the high school team in 8th grade. Like a lot of times 7th and 8th grade wrestles with high school, and like I wasn't varsity, but I was on the JV and whatever. And I was a terrible wrestler, terrible. And this guy they were goofing off and like, hey, let's do what is that move where it's like a suplex or a souffle or whatever it was, like the pro wrestling move.
Yep.
And I let this guy do it to me just because I thought it'd be funny, and I landed right on my head. That was my first concussion as like a 7th or 8th grader. It was awesome. You
didn't break your neck.
I don't know if that was I might be saying the wrong thing, but basically he got behind me and like threw me backwards.
Yeah, that's a suplex, and it's one of the most dangerous moves. In fighting. Yeah, like it is illegal to drop someone on their head because it can break your neck.
Well, I'm lucky I didn't break my neck then and only got a concussion. Awesome. Okay, thanks for being a downer at the end of the show.
Right. On that note.
On that note, thank you so much for listening. Patreon.com/NotAnotherShootingShow. Don't forget, you can still get your
It's fucking Tuesday
t-shirt at NotAnotherShootingShow.com. It helps buy beer we'll hand you at the match. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.